So we're also blessed today to have George Siemon, founding member of the Crop Co-op and the CEIO of Organic Valley. And George has been a leader in the sustainable agriculture since it's been around, and was involved in forming the USDA organic certification. And so without further ado, please help us welcome George Siemon to talk to you this morning.
Good morning, everybody. I'm sure you're here for breakfast, but I'll try to entertain you the best I can. It's great to be here. I always enjoy these events because you get to think about things, and this one is special to me because of I would say my generation. This is your 25th anniversary, and Wisconsin has three unique things that happen at the same time. Our co-op started, and this is our 26th anniversary. This event is its 25th anniversary, and the Organic Farming Conference, which is the biggest one in the United States, has celebrated its 25th anniversary. So something was happening in the stars for Wisconsin 25 years ago. And there was one person that was on the organizing committee of all three events, Spark Burmaster here, still doing his thing. So I just want to, I have to talk about who Organic Valley is and our sustainability efforts, and then I want to talk about some of the things we've learned from being organic farmers. Also have to acknowledge today's solstice, so happy solstice. So I already kind of said our 25th anniversary. People always ask me if we had any idea that we would succeed like we succeed, and really, we had no idea we'd succeed like we succeed, of course, but we wanted to do something, and we want to do it our way, and we want to do it in a value-based way, and we've succeeded wildly, and that's very rewarding. And just like this festival started out with what people believed in, I don't know, they imagined that they would someday be here with their own property and the number of people they have here. So, and of course, we're poor at history, so we took the time to write a 25th history book, and it was great to do because we were able to recognize a lot of the people that have been so significant in our co-op. So we're a cooperative and become a complex business, but just to get the structure out of the way, Crop Cooperative is our business name. It stands for the Cooperative Regions of Organic Producer Pools. We're a national co-op, Cooperative Regions of Organic Producers. And we have Organic Valley as our brand name. We do Organic Prairie is our meat brand. We actually license Stonyfield fluid milk on the East Coast, and we have a logistics company. So certainly our original name was Cooley Region Organic Produce Pool, and we never had any idea to become a national co-op. But food is very complex. Dairy is very complex and perishability, so we morphed into a national business, and today we have farmers in 30-some states, and we are 10% of all the organic farms in the United States, and that's not counting the people who grow feed for us. And so largely we're mostly dairy, 88% dairy, but all the programs are important to us. Great diversity of growers, farmers. About a third of our dairy farmers are plain folks, Mennonite Amish, which is an exciting group to serve. And we have a wide variety of sizes of farm, but of course we want to represent family farms. But the farms, what you call a family farm on the West Coast is different than what you call in Wisconsin. We got 742 employees. There's some facts about it. 52% females, 48 males, I don't know what that. So we're located in the Kickapoo Valley in Wisconsin. And of course we have employees all over the country as well. And 38 employees are member owners, and since they have these kind of facts, like we have 30 married couples that work for us, which is an interesting additional piece of interesting dynamic sometimes. We're a virtual company. We are dependent. We're a partnership company. We're totally dependent on using other people's processing plants. We have our own butter plant and our own cheese cutting plant. Otherwise, we make product in a lot of conventional dairy plants, and we're able to be the first run of the day, and that gives us tremendous ability to leverage the industry out there to make our products. And so we actually work with all the conventional dairy people, not all, but a great percentage of them, and it's been great to have a percentage type model. Some of these are sustainable facts I'm going to get to again. Of course, numbers, I like to talk, especially working for farmers, I like to talk in terms about how many member growth we have, but dollars are important. And we're approaching that fearful name of $1 billion. This year we'll probably cross over $1 billion item, and it's amazing with the farmers and with all the direct employees. We have about 3,000 families dependent on us, which is an amazing way to look at our business rather than just dollars alone. I just can't speak enough. I didn't set out to be a business person. In fact, I would have said it's the last thing I would be. But what a difference it is, a cooperative. You know, when you look what's happened in the last 5 years in our economy and the Wall Street and the corporate, a cooperative is a model that just needs a lot more attention. It's a community vehicle that services the community, the stakeholders. In our case, the stakeholders are the farmers. But if it's a community, you have to think about all the stakeholders, and we have no valuation to serve. Who knows what our company be worth, and who cares? We're doing our job and serving the mission that we do, and it's such a relief to not have that constant stock value and quarterly reports and all that pressure that comes with the corporate ownership. And as a cooperative, we're able to just to service and consider what our mission is. And so it's a whole together different business, and you just focus on being good at business versus all the storytelling going with stock value and dividends and everything else. Here's our actual mission statement. It's pretty exciting to be here 26 years later and to see a statement that Spark and I and others wrote, and to see how valid it is yet. And we were looking to see that organics could bring economic sustainability back to farming. The 80s were a terrible time for farmers, with lots of bankruptcies, suicides, and a lot of frustration, and a lot of activism, and we were born out of that activism. And so our model really was organics, but it really was about farmer economic sustainability and seeing organics as that pathway forward. And so this mission statement served us well. There's a couple of things that changed. The names changed. As I said, it was originally Cooley Region. Now it's a national co-op. And we didn't have a clue what regional meant at that time. Those words haven't changed because we didn't realize we'd become a national co-op and have. And another real exciting thing is we've actually seen farms go back to diversity. We have farmers that were only dairy when we started that now have egg houses, hog operation, beef operation, and so we've actually brought diversity back to farms too, which is quite exciting. The farmers own and govern the co-op. It's something we play up a lot, but you wouldn't want to stop there. The employees run the business. Employees have done a fantastic job running it and building the business, but we work very hard to make our farmers feel engaged in our co-op. All of us have been part of farmer co-ops, but we didn't feel that they were trying to engage us or they were serving the farmers. So we work very hard at it. I think we have about 250 farmers on different committees, and we go through a lot of group process, which is largely a very positive experience. Of course, one farm, one vote, which is not a requirement for co-ops, but it's certainly something we've done. And if it's funny, most businesses, most farm businesses, co-ops or otherwise, cater to the large farmers, and we cater to the smaller farmers, and it's sometimes frustrating to the bigger farmers who are used to being catered to, but we are truly trying to represent what we call traditional family farms. Here's a leadership symposium we've been doing. We've been really trying to bring our farmers to Wisconsin from around the country and do a lot of leadership development. We just don't define organics as what the USDA does. When we defined organic when we started, we defined it as a philosophy and system of production that mirrors the natural laws of living organisms with an emphasis on independence of life. That's a lot of words. But you know, organics is an old, complex word. Organics was a school of Greek philosophy that believed in people working together could actually solve problems. And organics is the integrated parts making a whole. So yes, we have our USDA organics seal and definition, but it's a bigger word than that. And so I certainly think of the word organics as how do you run a business organically or treat employees organically, and it's a holistic word for me, for us. Here's our goals. It's just a good way to go through who we are. I've already said about the cooperative part. Cooperatives, you know, can be just as good a business as you can run them to be, and they can be a bad business, but they at least are a business that can go through that without constantly be burdened by the valuation again. Did I mention? We really try hard to provide nutritious food. We try hard to avoid the gums and the additives, but we do use some because people like to have low-fat products. But overall, we try very hard to have truly natural nutritional products. We just happen to come out, just since they have it on the floor here, with a grass milk that's 100% grass, no grain production that we've done, and that's been a very innovative product. And I'll show you some more results on that later. But you know, our measure of success is the sustainability of our farmers, and we the income from farmers. You got to have some measure you look at, and that's our measure. Even though it's always hard to say what's the right amount, but we've always gone at it that we want to start with a farmer-determined pay price, and then price above that, versus go to the marketplace and say get what we can and give it back to the farmers. And we've been very strict about it. We've picked a price, and we've never sold any products less than our target price, and that's a big prideful for us. If we can't sell it for the right price, we sell it conventionally, so rather than hurt the price we have. We're lucky because in most collective bargaining, you don't have two markets to play against each other. So we're very strict about trying to make organics is not just about caring for the land, it's about caring for the farmer as well. So it's a big deal to us as the pricing. It's our performance measure. You know, one of the most exciting things that we see in organic farming is the engagement of the youth. It's really exciting. Young people that are raised in organic farmers are very enthused about organics, and there's no question, while I don't have the statistics, there's no doubt that our farms have a higher rate of next generation taking on the farms, because there's a hope. There's stability in pricing, and then there's just an excitement, because one thing that organic farming does for farmers is they have to start thinking for themselves. So much of conventional ag, it's the subsidies from the government, and the research is funded by the input sellers that drive you down a certain path. With organics, you have to engage your own brain, your own self, and figure out what works on your farm, and that's exciting. And young people get it. It's a constant improvement. These are our goals, and this one's really about the employees. One of our goals, because it's really a partnership between the employees and the farmers. And our employees are very glad to work in a meaningful environment, because you know, meaningful work's important, and so it's great to see employees engage in our mission and to be part of it. And I'm going to talk about our sustainability efforts in a while, because it's appropriate for this group, but it's certainly something we need to be part of. We only control so much of our footprint. Since we hire so much work out to other people, we don't control all of that as much as we could. We did put up 2 giant wind turbines at our facility. It's actually a joint venture with the local hospital, and it's really been great to have the wind turbines, and it's just shocking how they just keep turning even if there's no wind, it seems. And so I always joke that's electricity out of thin air, because it truly is, and it's quite exciting to see them, and it's been really rewarding. and respect for life. You know, organics is a lot bigger than just some food scheme. It's a way of thinking. So these were our original goals, and they're still as good today as ever. You know, I once said that we're a social experiment disguised as a business. That would be probably who we are. We're a business, but yet we have a lot of social interaction. And somehow this picture with all the Amish hats and coats represents that, because it's a big deal to interact with a lot of people and make it all work. We've got a young generation organic. I got water.
I found her.
I'm suffering from a cold right now, so it's really exciting to see the young people. I said already, so we started a young people program, and it's really exciting because if you're really into farming, you don't really get out very much. So having a program where people can engage in all that is really been exciting to see. We've done tours, we put them on a bus and go around and talk to all the different universities, and often it's the first time they've ever been in another part of the country. So it's been really exciting to have a program, and we bring them back to headquarters. So it's, again, one of the real hopes is the young people. It's a lot to transition people to organics. We work hard with farmers to transition them years ahead of time. As you all probably know, it's a 3-year transition for the land, and that last year is a transition for the animals. It's a big commitment on farmers, and they need a lot of encouragement, a lot of support. Fortunately, the biggest encourager we have is their neighbors. Organics is now big enough to be where there's somebody nearby that they respect that's doing it, and so they can go and see. But it takes a lot of support, as well as it takes, you know, we pay a transition, the last 12 months we offer a transition fee to farmers to help them with the burden of making the investment. It's a big commitment to go organics with dairy. Now, if you're just doing a piece of produce land, you can do a little one field and dabble in it and try it and that kind of thing. But with dairy, it's all in. And Wisconsin now today has the most organic dairy farmers of any state in the United States. So that's so that's a little bit of who our company is, who our cooperative is, and I'll go into some of our sustainability efforts now. But for us, sustainability though has to be about economics. So we actually have to start with our slide. This is a little hard to see, but we started. This is 2001. We started way back in '88, and we're paying a $15 a hundredweight or $14 a hundredweight, and we've grown that price up. Even though it says $26.55, almost close to $30 of all our premiums. And meanwhile, conventional milk for the longest time was $12. And what we try to do is have a stable price, and we relatively have a stable price. And it's such an important thing. So farmers, just like if you had a job, you want to know what you're going to get paid week in and week out. There's nothing more frustrating to be a farmer and get paid widely variable prices from month to month. And so one of our goals has always been to have a stable price. And so this is our first sustainability chart. And even though there is no right pay price, are we paying a sustainable pay price? So that we have to always lead with that. But after that, we've got quite a few initiatives because our farmers are very much into renewable energy. And it's exciting. There's a big crossover between this crowd and the organic crowd. And out here you'll see our biodiesel trailer out here, and it's really quite exciting now. Farmers are able to grow their own vegetable oil for their tractors and have a byproduct of protein for their animals. And it's pretty exciting to see farmers embracing this. So we have this trailer out here. We encourage different parts of the country to start trying it. We'll come and help them press the oil for the first while, and then the idea, and it's working, is they get their own trailer and they share it collectively. So it's pretty exciting that farmers are able to grow their own oil and their own protein meal in the same thing. So make sure you stop by there and see. I see Zach's over here. He'll be glad to tell you. We got this photo opportunity. Here's our headquarters. So this is sure a pretty picture. Sunflowers seem to be the best thing for us right now to grow organically and for oil and meal for the animals. We've done a lot to encourage our farmers to go renewable energy. If you look back here in the back, this board there, you'll see a lot of our projects. Farmers are busy people. They don't like regulations, paperwork, and all that stuff. So we've had a staff person that helps them go through all the grants and all the working. Because there are a lot of encouragements for renewable energy, but it's a lot of trouble to get to the money. So we've got assisting farmers with that. And we've done a lot of projects, and so you can see back there some of the examples. And then once a year we give an award to a farmer for sustainability, and organics and sustainability, again, is just really linked. Now they got these fancy slides. We definitely are excited about producing our own energy, and we use a lot of energy, so it's something we put a lot of effort into, and so we've been doing a lot of projects, so I'm going to show you a few of them. Right now, we're producing 41% of our own energy needs, 69% of our own electric needs right now with these turbines and other projects we're doing. We've got solar, hot water in all of our buildings. And what's exciting about all this is not just doing the right thing. The turbines were a big commitment, a big investment on our part, and we're paying more for our electricity today. So you could say, well, was that goodwill? Was that just doing the right thing? Well, as a business person, it was much simpler than that. I locked in my energy costs for 20 years. The difference is I'm paying more in the first few years, but I'm gambling. Cheap coal, Midwest energy ain't gonna last, and so if I could lock in my costs for 20 years everywhere, I'd probably be glad to do it. So, yeah, sustainability is not just about doing the right thing. There's a lot of economic advantages to it, and so for me, the turbines were a great opportunity to just lock in costs and do the right thing. This is an amazing fact. It says here that they figure, using figures, that since we started, we have kept more than 91 million pounds of toxin and synthetic fertilizers off the land. Isn't that amazing? This is the amount of biodiesel we're using on our fleet. Of course, we don't control all the trucks out there that run our products, but the fleet we have, we're at this level of biodiesel now. We're also working hard with the biodiesel providers, some of which are here, to get their biodiesel to, well, ideally in the long run, to be organic soybeans, organic products, so we have byproducts that feed our cattle. But first, we're at the step of trying to get it to be not GMO soybeans, because GMOs is something we're at odds with, and so buying GMO biodiesel seems contrary. So we work real hard to get non-GMO biodiesel, and hopefully eventually we'll get to be organic biodiesel. But it's real important when you go over here and talk to our team or whoever's here about that, to see the difference between biodiesel and vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is very exciting for the farmers because you can take it right off your own farm and put it right into the tractor, no further processing, and it's a lot more energy efficient. So, and here's, we put a water filtration system into our creamery, and here's the 5 million gallons of water a year that we're saving by putting that into there. And then the other one is 77 is our EPA rating for our headquarters. Of course, if we had to become famous for sustainability, we did it the wrong way. We burned down our headquarters last year, and it had solar panels all over the roof, and the solar panels actually were a problem in fighting the fire. The roof got hot, and there were several things, and so they tell me there's lots we could have done different, learned. So now our local fire chief is going around the country talking about how to fight fires with solar panels on the roof. So we're now famous for the wrong reason, but still. And I did not put solar panels back on the roof. Okay, so we have lots of land, and I just don't feel. Now we have solar hot water and such, but not the panels again. So we're now fully. We had a fire May 14th last year, and it destroyed this wing. The other wing was water damage, and the third wing was not harmed. And we're now 100% back in the building, so it's over now. But again, you might, if you read sustainability magazines, you might see an article about fighting fires, and that's our claim to fame now. We do a lot of outreach. We do a lot of programs that try to keep our farmers engaged. Farmers actually really enjoy going and speaking about organics, and there's no better place in the classroom. And here's a couple we have that goes to New York City regularly at one school, and they bring baby chicks, they plant garden seeds, and they're teaching city kids about farming, and it's very exciting. So I wish we could spend a lot more time in the elementary schools. Kids are so receptive and know so little about their foods, and it's such a big thing we need to do. And we're very active. GMOs has been a real struggle, and sometimes we're struggling just to have lack of contamination of our crops. We're struggling to get clean seed. But we're also, our farmers and a lot of our customers are very concerned about the lack of transparency and real system and the approval of them. And so, as you probably heard, there's a real struggle for labeling GMOs. And so here's some of our farmers in California. One of the more exciting things we've done as a co-op is we've been part of quite a few disaster relief programs. Disaster relief is, I would encourage any of you all to volunteer to be part of a disaster relief program. This is us at Sandy, and when you have a disaster relief, you desperately need food and a center. And so we've been part of kitchens and serving food. It's very, very rewarding. You see people of all backgrounds and all beliefs come together and work together. So it's been very exciting. Our biggest event was Katrina, the hurricane, and we had a kitchen at Waveland that fed thousands of people. And again, it's very rewarding to see the volunteers. I used to think that the government somehow was the one that did all the relief during disasters, but I assure you the government does very little, and the volunteers do everything, and it's a very significant part of our fabric. Okay, yeah. So now I want to move into some of the things that we've learned about farming. And organics is a belief structure in a lot of ways. Long time ago, we had a tour, and there was this veterinarian there and this scientist there, and he was touring this organic farm, and they just plagued the farmer with all these questions. How do you know it works? How do you know that it works? Where's the proof? And this organic farmer says, you can see their frustration building. And finally, the farmer turned to the scientist and said, listen, the difference between you and I is you need to know how it works, and I don't, or why it works, and I don't. It just works. And so organics has been very pioneering in methodologies, but the good news is we're starting to see science now. And we need science, and it's hard to come by because our science around ag is just dominated by the people who sell inputs to ag. It's not an honest story, it's just a dishonest story in its own way. So one of the things I'm very proud of our farmers is they started a volunteer fund and to contribute a nickel a hundredweight. And we now have a fund to fund research and stimulate research, and it's quite exciting, and we're getting some results that are really exciting. And I'm just going to go through a few of them right here. Here's the one we just came out with this year that's real exciting. We started testing the omega levels in our milk compared to conventional milk all across the country. And omegas are an important part of understanding the health benefits and nutrition of food. I'll show you here. I'm going to jump over. Of course, I'm going to brag too. So here's the results. And you know, organics is a network of practices. And one of those practices is pasture. Another one is high forage diets. And those things really lead to higher omegas. And this is, as far as we know, the most significant nutritional difference has ever been found in organic products in the world. And that's because omegas directly reflect these things. And we're finding that omegas actually are an indicator of good farming practices. And omegas are definitely a factor in health. So 62% more omegas and then 18% more CLAs. And for those, you know, while there's some debate about everything, the ratio between 6 and 3 is an important health issue. And we are very, very out of balance in this country today, and we're not eating a healthy diet on this level. So this shows that the ideal ratio is 2.3 parts 6 to 3, and that's the ratio. So you start thinking about that, the average diet is way above 5 to 10 somewhere in America, and there's a lot of health issues about it. So just put that in there as a framework, because here's the results we got. Is Organic Valley whole milk was 2.28 to 1 and conventional was 5.77 to 1. That's a huge difference between the two. And again, remember 2.3 was the right ratio. So the omega levels were definitely different, and we're finding that a lot of things are related to omegas. As I said a minute ago, if you mineralize your soil, you'll get higher omegas in the crops. If you harvest exactly at the right time, you get higher omegas in the crops. And so one of the veins we're going down is how omegas are a reflection of good farming, and we're actually looking at about paying a premium based on omegas in milk. So one thing we're doing is starting to put this together, and so we come up with the terms, the world's best farming model, world's food and farming model. It's exciting, and you know, when we started organics, we had this saying about healthy soil makes healthy plants, makes healthy animals. And so I took this framework and I have a speech I give that has all these scientific studies. I'm just show you a little aspect of it today. But here's my new thing it's not only soil, plants, animals, it's food, people, and the earth. So it really does all start with the soil, and our country is woefully under recognizing the benefit of a healthy soil at every level there could be. And it's something that if we had to do anything to subsidize, it should be based on the soil. So I'm just going to go through the healthy earth part here, and there's a lot of studies here. I'm not going to go through them, but I'm just going to give you an indication of the kind of things we're finding that point to the benefit of organics. So this is just one part of the program I have. This is going to be hard because I want to go through these pretty quick. You know, it's just pretty obvious. The more you cover the soil, the less erosion you have. Then the more roots you have, the more carbon sequestration you have. So here's just some different studies. They're all different. You couldn't have more vivid than this. A visual picture sends a lot of messages. The little pile is off an organic farm. The big pile is off a chemical cornfield. And the amount of erosion from the same rain side by side. This is real stuff going on. Go just drive around and look. Forage-based, sod-based agriculture is way different as far as all the factors like this. And again, just a study about from University of Vermont about water holding capacity. I'm just going to go through and show you the kind of depth we have. And then of course our water pollution of our wells. It's a big deal. I would really encourage all of you to get your wells tested. It's no joke. The wells have atrazine and other things in them, and there's definitely health issues related. So we've been trying to get a program to test all of our farmers' wells so they can be aware of what they have. You know, the animals are criticized for being greenhouse gas emitters. It's not that simple. It depends what the animals are fed. It depends if they're out on the land in grazing pasture. It's a complex question that is that. And now people are starting to see animals are a solution because of the covering of the land. So things are shifting back to recognize that animals have a lot of value in these issues of greenhouse gas. It's just a 15-year study by the University of Wisconsin about pasture. Again, a lot of these are practices, but they're what organics are. This is the study right here. Again, just the same points. I'm not trying to go through these. Here's another one, Wisconsin. If they're on 30% pasture, which is the floor for organics, they're producing 15% less methane emissions. How you feed the animal makes a big difference in the end product, in the effect on the earth, in a lot of things. So we've been doing, for those who don't know, Stonyfield products are 100% Organic Valley's milk. So we have a close partnership with them, and they became aware of a study where what you feed changes the emissions. So we've been doing several different studies about feeding different things. In this case, it was flax. And again, you reduce the methane emissions and you increase the omegas in the milk. So again, this relationship of omegas to the best practices comes through all these. And biodiversity, there's no question. I used to have people come in and put up my haylage when I was milking cows, and they'd always say, boy, it's so hard to mow your fields with all those ant hills out there. You know, and it's true, you just have a lot more life in your soil and a lot more biodiversity. And it's if you look at what's going on with the monarch butterflies now, we really are hell-bentness on corn and soybeans is affecting our biodiversity, and it's a big deal we're not paying enough attention to. So that was just a snapshot. I have that kind of studies for every one of these legs here, showing that this premise of healthy soil leads to a healthy earth and healthy people, and we basically have a health crisis in this nation. And we need to recognize the importance of the soil as the root of it and the importance of organics in the solutions. So in closing and wrapping up here, I tried to think about this fair and the movement that you all represent. And, I just wrote down some of the common values we have here. Some of the common roots, more interesting. When this fair was started, the power grid industry thought you all were nuts. When Organic Valley started, I assure you, the rest of the world thought we were nuts, and now it looks like we're the future, doesn't it? Yeah, it really does. So, we suffer from a reductionist society who tries to look at things, here's my thing, and not look at it holistic. And, it's not enough to produce renewable energy. You have to conserve energy. You have to think about your lifestyle. There's a whole lot to energy, and it's the same with food and farming. And so it's exciting to be here. I always, when I'm at things like this, I like to say we need to join each other's movements. Organics needs to get into renewable energy, and renewable energy needs to get into organics. It is a whole thing. So we are representing a renewable future, and I have a lot of hope still. So thank you very much.